Welcome to the Shiur in Bitachon, matters of Bitachon and Emunah. Lizchus for Shlema for Rabbi Akiva Gershon ben Rochel Basya. This week's parsha is Beshalach, and in the parsha Beshalach it tells us about the mon. So in this sicha, it's the sicha chelik Chavav, the second sicha on Beshalach. The Rebbe will talk about the Alter Rebbe, how he writes the halacha about writing Parshas Hamon, and different versions. His first version, Madurat Kama and Madurat Inyana, and how those different versions show us the true meaning of Emunah and Bitachon, and therefore what caused him to change between the two. So, steht in Torah, as Tev Leimar di Parshas Hamon jeden Tag. It says in Torah that it's good to say the Parsha of Mon every day. Und der Tam darauf steht in Beis Yosef, kedei sheyamen shekol mezenosav boin leila hashgacha. The reason for this, Beis Yosef tells us, is so that a person should believe that all of his food comes to him specifically by hashgacha, with particular intent from the Eibishter. The Alter Rebbe b'Shulchan Aruch Shalei in Madura Kama is matik dem din fun Tur mit dem Tam from Beis Yosef. So Alter Rebbe in the first version of his Shulchan Aruch brings down this rule of the Tur together with the reason given by the Beis Yosef. Und is Meisef nebir from Levush. Then he adds the Levush's explanation. Shekein hoya b'man sheishkiach HaKadosh Baruch Hu lasis l'chol echad emer l'kol geilas l'chol nafshes beisei. That this is what you see by the mon, that the Eibishter was careful. The Eibishter paid attention to give to each and every person the exact measure and omer for each person, for each person and for each member of the family. Right, like it says in the pasuk that they measured with the omer, and whoever took more didn't end up with more, whoever took less didn't end up with less, and this will increase our emunah and the Eibishter that everything we need is coming to us with hashgacha. But in the Alter Rebbe's second version, he changes it. Und anstatt bringen den Tama Beis Yosef alavush, sagt Parshas Hamon liftayach b'Hashem noisen lechem dvariyim b'yomeh. Here the Alter Rebbe changes. Instead of saying, as the Beis Yosef said, that it's in order that we should believe, sheyamin, that we should believe that all our food is coming to us with hashgacha. Instead he says, liftayach b'Hashem, we should trust in Hashem, who will give us every day what we need. Das heißt, ashinu in zwei pratim, which means that there's two changes, two details that the Alter Rebbe changed from the first version and from the Beis Yosef. Aleph anstatt lashon Beis Yosef sheyamin sagt der Alter Rebbe liftayach. First of all, instead of the lashon the way the Beis Yosef said it, that we should believe, he uses the term that we should trust. And secondly, Beis bringt nit dem inyan in mon as es given b'hashgacha pratis emer l'kol geilas l'chol nafshes beisei. He skips out now the second part, the part that he brought from the Levush, that the mon was specific to each person, the amount that they needed with hashgacha pratis. Nor adas was der Eibishter hat dem Mann gegeben nach anand dvariyim b'yomei der fareis rufen dem Bitachon ad der Eibishter is neisen lechem dvariyim b'yomei. Rather, instead of mentioning the fact that the Eibishter was paying attention to give exactly the right amount that needed to be given, instead he talks about the fact that it came constantly. In other words, that will awaken within us the trust that the Eibishter is going to provide us for what we need, but not focusing so much on the precise measure being given by hashgacha. Bepashtus, and it's shinuyim and altali zebazeh, says the Rebbe. These two differences seem to be dependent one on the other. Dem inyan in mon was ishkiach HaKadosh Baruch Hu lasis l'chol echad emer l'kol geilas l'chol nafshes beisei v'lo yehedif amar b'v'amamet le'hechzir. That aspect of the mon, that the Eibishter is giving each person exactly the amount that they need and not giving any more, not taking away any, not giving any less, is mechazik de emunah fun hayid. That focuses, that strengthens the faith that a yid has. As seinem is seines kommen nit von keichi veitzim yadi nor boin leibashgacha von Eibishten. It emphasizes this idea idea that everything we have, all our food, all our parnasa, isn't coming just from my own work, but rather it's coming b'hashgacha from the Eibishter. So that's emphasizing the emunah. V'mad gezeh b'muchish by man, as we see clearly by man, adipu'ulis von Adam haben nit mishane gewen in der Kamasamon. That what a person didn't make a difference in the amount he ended up with. Was der Eibishter hat bestimmt to geben l'chol echad. The Eibishter decided for each person what he needed. The Eibishter gave to each person what he needed, and therefore that's what he got. What he did, what he didn't do, didn't affect it, didn't cause any more or less. And this would emphasize the emunah, the belief that a person has that the Eibishter is the one who's deciding, the Eibishter is the one who's providing for him. Der Inyan from Bitachon aber is nicht nur, as men glaubt, as men sein Eisef Shaladam kommen von Eibishten. But when you come to Bitachon isn't just that you believe that everything that we have is coming from the Eibishter, nor as men verlass sich von Eibishten, as wird ihm sicher zustellen mit sein Eisef. Bitachon is already, not just that I believe that the Eibishter is going to provide me what I need, but that I actually rely on the Eibishter, that he certainly will provide for me that which I need. Und dem Inyan Bitachon lernt man ab von dem, was der Eibishter hat dem Mann gegeben war. So Bitachon isn't associated so much with the precise amount that a person ended up with. Bitachon is associated with the idea that we saw that the Eibishter actually provided us every single day what we needed, but if it's midi in a constant fashion. As man hat sich in ganzen verlost von Eibishter und Kindeige, so that we were able to completely and totally rely on the Eibishter without worrying at all. In other words, there's two different elements that are being focused on here. The first element, one element of the man, is belief that the Eibishter is the one who decides what's going to happen. And that you saw from the fact that no matter what I did more, I did less. Either way, I ended up with what the Eibishter wanted me to have. So that focusing on that aspect will strengthen a person's emunah. Bitachon, though, wasn't about how much I did or how much I ended up with. Bitachon was the fact that I didn't have to worry. I could rely completely that the Eibishter is going to provide. That was seen not so much from the precise amount of the month that I ended up with, but from the fact that every single day I knew that I would have food that I needed. So I didn't have to worry about where my food is coming from tomorrow, because I had Bitachon that the Eibishter is going to provide it for me. So the Rebbe asks, though, fine, we understand that these two reasons, meaning once you're changing from saying to be mamin in the Eibishter, that we're saying Parshas Amon to strengthen our emunah, to changing and saying that we're saying Parshas Amon to strengthen our bitachon. So it makes sense that instead of focusing on the amount we ended up with, we focus instead on the constancy of the mon coming every single day. But we still need to understand my time of us in Basya Levush, weil derech ze madur kam von alten Rebbe Shulchan Aruch bringt sich der Minyan von Kadesh Yamin Chulu. Still, why would it be that the Basya the Levush, and in the first version of the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, he focuses on Kadesh Yamin, that the focus of Parshas Amon is to strengthen our emunah, and therefore he focuses on those details that emphasize emunah. Und davken madur tinyana idr Alter Rebbe Mishane und sagt den Tam Lefteich B'Hashem Neisen Lechem Dvariyim B'Yemei. And specifically in the second version, in the final version, the Alter Rebbe changes and focuses on the reason of bitachon, of trusting in the Eibishter, and therefore emphasizes the constancy. L'chure darf herauskommen, als es sich da an Afgemina la lache zwischen die zwei Taben. Then the Rebbe goes on and says, not only is there a difference in which elements are we focusing on emunah or are we focusing on bitachon, but there'll actually be a difference in halacha depending what the reason is for saying Parshas Amon. Uva hekta, with the following introduction. Einer von den Chilukim zwischen emunah and bitachon is, what's one of the differences between emunah and bitachon? Emunah is an inyan tzmidi. Emunah, belief in the Eibishter, or belief in the Eibishter's capabilities, that's a constant concept. It says the Ogelegtkeit und Gewisskeit by Mammon. It's the certainty, the knowledge, the absolute belief by the person. Adizach is azay glaubt, that the matter is like this. It's the way he believes. Ubemele is da bayem ständig. Euch wenn die Emunah ist nicht negele peil. Since emunah is a belief in the facts of the way things are, it doesn't have to do with the person's situation. It's not that in a situation where I need something, then I feel emunah. Emunah is constant, because emunah is the belief that this is the way it is. Whether I'm involved in this particular element right now that I need to focus on this belief or not, emunah is always going to be there equally. Ledugma benidnidam, for instance, this situation. The emuna as this emuna that a person has, that my food comes from the Eibishter with hashgacha pratis, is doch nit matim zu sagen, as gleibt in nur beiser sich eisik beparnasase. No, the emuna is tamid benafshe. It doesn't make sense to say that I'm only going to believe this when I'm involved in looking, when I'm involved in trying to earn a living. Because if I believe that that's the way it is, then I always believe that's the way it is. I may focus on it more, I may focus on it less. But emunah is a constant thing. Emunah is that this is the way I believe that it works. Mashenken bitachon. But when we talk about bitachon is this sicherheit und verlassen sich auf dem Eibishten beparnasase. Emunah is an intellectual belief. An intellectual belief is there always. Bitachon is an emotional feeling. The certainty, the reliance on the Eibishter that he's going to actually give me what I need. Is a hergish was wird niseirer by modem beisatzerich. Since that's an emotional feeling and that relates to a particular situation, I'm trusting because I need it, therefore I trust in it. So therefore, that's going to be awakened by the person, specifically when he needs it. When a person's involved in his work, he's trying to earn a living, then he needs to awaken within himself the feeling of reliance, the feeling that he trusts in the Eibishter, that the Eibishter is the one who's going to bless me in everything that I do. Der Eibishter wird sicher benchen sein Asiya Esek. That's when he has the feeling that the Eibishter will certainly bless this that I'm doing, the work that I'm doing, in a manner that will bring about the parnasa. Or other venene gefinzer chachman al-islan in anesara. So one element of that trust, of that emotional feeling, is when I'm doing the work, I'm relying that the Eibishter is going to make it successful. The other situation where I'll have this emotional expression of trust will be when chas v'shalom a person finds themselves in an eisara, in a problem. Und zet nit ken eisicht in teva via zeyer veter fun nitzel werden. He doesn't see how any possibility in teva, in nature, how I'll be saved from this situation. That's when you have this emotional expression of trust. Falter nitarai chas v'shalom and yish ma'ayin yavi hezri. He doesn't, heaven forbid, fall into giving up, into yish, that where will my help come? Nor zicher beiteach ba Hashem, ader Eibishter welches balabasif teva, uviyadi lishanis teva, vetem sicher helfen. That's when he has this feeling. I have a certainty. I'm not worried. I'm not going to be concerned what's going to happen because I have trust in the Eibishter. The Eibishter is the one who controls Teva. He's the one who controls nature. He has the ability to change nature. So I don't see any way within nature that I could be helped. So what? I have a feeling of trust that I'm expressing at this moment that the Eibishter will certainly help. As Ezri me'im Hashem ma'iseh shamayim v'aretz, as the pasuk goes on, me'ayin yav Ezri, where will my help come? Ezri me'im Hashem, I know where it will come from. I'm not worried where it will come from because I know where it will come from. I have a certainty that the Eibishter will actually help me in this situation. So you see an important difference between emunah and bitachon. That emunah, since emunah is a belief in facts, that's an intellectual concept, so therefore that's constant. Bitachon is an emotional expression of trust, and therefore that happens only in those moments when I need it. When I work, I have bitachon, the Eibishter will help give it success. When I don't see a way that I'll be able to have what I need, so I have a feeling of trust, the Eibishter is going to provide. And not only that, but the Rebbe goes on to say, Nachmer, der bitachon kufa, it the keli was mamshich die Yeshua von Eibishten, umilitzrachav. Not only does the person have the bitachon when he doesn't know how he's going to be saved, so that's when he has this feeling of bitachon. I know that the Eibishter is going to figure it out anyway, but actually it's the bitachon that draws down that Yeshua. It's what actually brings about that salvation from the Eibishter. It's what causes all his needs to be fulfilled. Das is eine von the biurim in the meaning von midas habitachon. The Rebbe says in the brackets that this is actually one of the explanations of how bitachon works. What this whole idea of bitachon, of having actual trust in the Eibishter is. Warum lechura is nicht verstandig because theoretically it wouldn't be understood. Bitachon meint doch as a yid is beiteach ader Eibishter vet meter sein betevanir vanigla dafke. What does bitachon mean? Bitachon means that the yid has trust that the Eibishter will actually do good for me, and what kind of good? Not that I trust that whatever the Eibishter will do is good, but that I have trust that the Eibishter will actually provide for me in a revealed good, in the good that I understand. Das heißt, that means, nice if I'll say the Eibishter weiß, das is good for a mention, in addition to the fact that whatever the Eibishter does, obviously, he knows that it's good for me in whatever way that he understands. Is es ba'efna der ich der Mensch wird sein, as es is good for him. Bitachon means that I have trust. I'm not worried about this at all, because I trust that the Eibishter will do as such a good that I'm also going to understand that it's good. Right? Theoretically, where does this come from? Das Gufa, was der Mensch gefindet sich Rachman und Zlan und Zara, kann doch sein, weil seine Hanage ist nicht dabei. Und der Fall kommt dem der Mensch. We believe in reward and punishment. So the fact itself that a person, Chas v'shalom Rachman und Zlan, is found in a situation where there's a tzara, it's possible that that's because his behavior wasn't the way it needed to be. And therefore he deserves whatever's happening to him. Is was is der Yisayt von sein Bitachon? If that's the case, what's the basis of his Bitachon? As the Rebbe points out in the Harav from the Kada Kemach, that Kol HaBeiteach Hu Ma'amin, anybody who has Bitachon obviously has Emunah, because if he has Bitachon, that means he believes that the Eibishter is in control. But Hamamin Yitachon Shlehi Beiteach. But it's possible somebody will have Emunah, won't have Bitachon, because sometimes he's scared that maybe I don't deserve it. So it's possible to have Emunah without having Bitachon. So the Rebbe asks if that's the case, what's the foundation of this whole concept of Bitachon altogether? Where does it come from? How do I know it's going to be good? Maybe it won't be good. Ubebitachon gomer va'amiti, was meint, as bei is in dem gar kein Safik nita. Bis as is in ganzen ruhig. And what does bitachon mean? Like the Chavis Avavas explains, that he's not worried at all. He has no concern whatsoever. That means he has true and complete bitachon. That means he has no doubt whatsoever. And therefore he's completely calm, because he's absolutely certain that the Eibishter wird ihm sicher, that the Eibishter will certainly nitmanish sein, not punish him. Even if the Eibishter punishes me, even if the Eibishter punishes me, I know that that's also good. That also has a plan. But bitachon means that I'm not worried about the outcome, which means that I'm not thinking, well, whatever the Eibishter does for the best, and maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be a good that I don't understand, but I'll have to believe that that's also good. In this case, bitachon means that I believe that the Eibishter will actually do what's good for me in a revealed good, that I understand that it's good. Says the Rebbe, where does that come from altogether? What's the basis of that bitachon? So you could say the explanation, as the Rebbe explains also in other places, in the Beshas a Yid weiß dareis sein Bitachon gomer. In Eibishten, when the Yid is showing his complete and total reliance, his complete and total trust in the Eibishter, bei is bepshitus, der Eibishter wird mate sein b'tevanir vanikla, and it's completely, absolutely certain to him that what is the Eibishter going to do for me? He's going to do for me that which is good, which is a revealed good, which I understand is good. Trotzdem, was es nicht matim zu zevadike cheshbenes und Einsichten, even if this doesn't fit in with the natural calculations, with the natural outlook. It does guf amam shichl mamayla. That bitachon itself is what draws from above. Trach gut wird sein gut, because he thinks good. That's why it'll be good. Der Eibishter soll sich mit dem firen mit kneged mida, that the Eibishter will actually behave for him. Measure for measure, was Teire is meidia, und paskind, das is midas is shalakadesh baruch hu, und Hashem is emeite b'tevanir vanikla, that the Teire lets us know, the Teire paskins, that because the person's acting, that he's relying completely on the Eibishter, that he will do good, that's Hashem's measure, that the Eibishter will do for him good, b'tevanir vanikla, in a revealed good. Nit kuke de klal, if the cheshbenes zier das wert, without looking at all, in all of the calculations, whether it's actually deserved, whether he's worthy of it or not. As it says in the Harav, from what the Alter Rebbe says in Laskil Chabina, in Simin Yud Aleph of Igeres HaKodesh, that be'emunah zu, when the person believes that it doesn't matter what's going to happen to him, and because he doesn't care about what's going to happen to him, because he realizes that everything's good, be'emes, when he has this emunah truthfully, nasa kel tev gam begolui, he believes, he realizes that emunah will actually bring about, that it'll actually be good begolui. So it's not that he actually doesn't care, he believes, he has emunah emunah. To him, it makes no difference because that's not what he's caring about. But that results in that it'll actually be good begoli. It'll actually be good in a revealed sense, and therefore, from the beginning, he could have bitachon. He could have complete trust of what the actual outcome will be. So, in any event, the Rebbe. So again, just to summarize so far. The Rebbe highlighted the fact, there's the first version in the Alter Rebbe in Parshas Amon that says that the point is in order to be mammon, in order to believe. The second version is that it's in order to be baiteach, in order to trust in the Eibishter. What caused the Alter Rebbe to change? And not only that, but there's actually an afkamina la'alacha. Why is there an afkamina la'alacha? So he said that first, emunah is constant. Emunah is intellectual, so therefore you always believe. Bitachon you're going to have when you need it. And as he pointed out, it's actually having that bitachon, having that trust. That's what brings about the actual outcome. Mehanal is moving. So from all of this is understood as Gimel. Der Inyan from Midas HaBitachon, that this idea of Midas HaBitachon. Das heißt, not just the belief, the theoretical, intellectual belief that it could be, or that it should be, etc., but the actual emotional feeling, the actual awakening of the midah in practice, that he feels right now, a complete actual trust in the Eibishter, is verbunden mit bakashas rachav. So this expression of bitachon, this expression of trust, is connected with asking for what you need. When he's busy with getting those things that he needs, that's when he feels this expression, this feeling of trust in the Eibishter, that he trusts that the Eibishter will provide for him what he needs. So according to this comes out an afkamina la'alacha. Leuten tamas amiris parshas amon is kedei durch dem zal der adam niseder ven liftayach b'Hashem is yesh makim leimar ad the parshas amon soll gesagt werden. If we're going to believe, if we're going to take on the reason, that the reason for saying Parshas Amon is in order to awaken within me a feeling of actual bitachon, a feeling of trust in Hashem. And bitachon is connected with asking for what I need, because it's connected with that moment when I'm trying to achieve this, that then I trust that the Eibishter is going to provide it for me. If that's the case, then there's at least room to argue that the Parshas Amon should be said, Aleph, first of all, Narbi Meisachel. Say it only in a weekday. Aber nit wie immer Shabbos, wenn es darf nicht sein, der Minyan from Bakashas Rachav. On Shabbos, we're not supposed to ask for what we need. And if that's the case, since Shabbos, I'm not supposed to be focusing on asking for what I need. And the midah bitachon, the expression of trust in the Eibishter, is connected with this idea of knowing that the Eibishter will provide for what I need with asking for what I need. So according to that, you shouldn't ask for Mon. You shouldn't talk about Parshas Amon on Shabbos. Weil derech wie der Mann atzmai, was nit herausgekommen b'yom HaShabbos. Af al pi azer es gewend variem b'yom. Just like the Mon itself, that even though, of course, you needed the Mon for every day, he's providing food for every day, but on Shabbos itself, it didn't come down. So therefore, emunah will be constant. You'll believe in it, even on Shabbos, but bitachon, the feeling of trust in the Eibishter, that's when I'm involved in trying to get what I need. And involved in trying to get what I need, I'm not supposed to be involved on Shabbos. Base, like you see, by the way, in the davening of Shabbos, we don't ask for our needs. The Shemoneh Esrei focuses only on the shvachav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, on the praises of the Eibishter, and on talking about the kedusha of Shabbos. But all of the middle brachas that ask for what we need, we skip because bakashas rachav isn't appropriate on Shabbos. Secondly, even in the weekday, theoretically, you wouldn't say Parshas Amon at the beginning of davening. Weil derech wie bakashas rachav, was es dar sein, yisader adam shvach shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, va'acher kach yispala bakashas rachav. Within davening itself, there's an order. First, we talk about shvachav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu from the brachas in the morning, Psukei de Zimra. Even within Shemoneh Esrei itself, the first three brachas focusing on the praises of the Eibishter, and only after we've said the praises of the Eibishter, that's when we ask for what we need. That's when we daven, meaning bakashas rachav, we ask for our needs. If Bakashas Amon is about Bitachon, and Bitachon is expressed in, right now I need this, and therefore I'm trusting the Eibishter that he's going to provide it for me. So if that's the case, it would make sense to say that Parshas Amon belongs only after davening. Wie wir gefunden Tage in Sidurim, als man hat gestellt Parshas Amon la'achri HaTvila und zusammen mit HaTvila Bakashe Parnasa. Like we find Tage in some Sidurim that they put the Parshas Amon after davening, and together with a tefillah, with a bakasha to ask the Eibishter for Parnasa. So much so, the Rebbe points out in the Harav that there are some poskim that write about saying the Parshas Amon before davening, and say that specifically you should wait with the tefillah, with the request for Parnasa, that you should wait until after davening. But if that's the case, says the Rebbe, if the reason for saying Parshas Amon is about Bitachon, then the Parshas Amon itself is also asking for the Eibishter for what we need. Because it's expressing the actual trust that's relevant only in that moment when I'm trying to get what I need. But if we say that the reason for Parshas Amon is connected not with Bitachon, but with Emunah, that's a belief in the Eibishter, that he could provide for me everything that happens is happening exactly as he wants it to happen. If that's the case, that's constant. Then we can say it even on Shabbos, because the Emunah is there even on Shabbos, that's not connected with actually asking for what I need. And it also is appropriate to say it before davening as well, when we're just talking about the praises of the Eibishter, weil die Emunah in Eibishten euch bescheiches mit sein Eisaf is an inyan for selbstständig. Because the belief that the Eibishter is the one who provides that what I need, that's something that is appropriate constantly, even on Shabbos and even before davening. But the Rebbe asks, if that's the case, then if this nafkamina is true, that there's an actual difference in halacha, whether the reason for Parshas Amon is because of Emunah or because of Bitachon, whether you'll say it it's appropriate to say it on Shabbos, and whether it's appropriate to say it before davening. If that's the case, you have to understand, 1 second. Even when their Alter Rebbe changes from saying that the reason is because of Emunah to saying the reason is because of Bitachon, schreibt der Alter Rebbe befeidosh, b'chol yom u'parshas Amon. Was von dem Lashon is mashma, das meint b'chol yom keil Shabbos. Even in the final version, where he's saying that the reason is because of Bitachon, he still says that you should say it every day, and he doesn't exclude Shabbos. And even so, that's as far as which days it's appropriate to say it on, and even with regard which point in davening it would make sense to say it. It's from stimas aloshin in madurat in yana mashma. There ain't chiluk legabe zaym psakim madura kama is bnei gedem tama amira. Aber nitas mitzadem vertashinui hagbola vemen kedazagin. But from the basic language, the fact that the Alter Rebbe doesn't spell out that there's any differences that in when you could say it and when in the timing of Parshas Amon, the implication is that the only change between the first version and the second version is only what the reason for saying Parshas Amon is. But in terms of any limitations as to when you should say it, he didn't change anything. Ubefrat, as Eichen Madurat in Yana, der Alter Rebbe keilel dem Din von Amiras Parshas Amon mit Amiras Parshas HaKedah Vaseres HaDibris. Und euch mit Parshas HaKarbonis, welchem in Zok Kedem HaTfilah. Not only that, but even in the final version, the Alter Rebbe includes this rule of saying Parshas Amon with other things that you say. HaKedah, Vaseres HaDibris, the Karbonis, and at least some of these are said before davening, which implies that Parshas Amon also at least would be appropriate to say before, is okay to say before davening. If that's the case, bleibt die Shaila nal, faset der Tamashini Madura Tinyana Lagabe Madura Kama Vabes Yesef Chulu. So then we're left with the same question: what's the cause of the difference? If it's not going with the nafkamina and halacha, then why is the Alter Rebbe changing in this final version from his first version and from the Beis Yosef, changing from the reason of Parshas Amon being because of Emunah to saying that it's because of Bitachon? And not only that, but the unstated question is, if he is saying that it's because of Bitachon, why doesn't he say that it's not okay to say it on Shabbos and that it's not okay to say it before davening? Vetman does verstehen. So in order to explain this question, says the Rebbe, we have to understand different levels of Bitachon. And we'll understand the different levels of Bitachon based on a story in the Zohar. So wird man das verstehen, behektem abiren an Hages Rabbi Yosef Saba. We'll be able to understand this by first explaining the behavior of Rabbi Yosef Saba, was wird erzählt in Zayar von Eintige Sedre, behemshich zu ihm in Amon. That is told in the Zayar, this week's parsha, also in connection to the Mon, in connection to this idea of believing that our food is coming from the Eibishter. What does it say? It says that Rabbi Yosef Saba, as fleckt zugreten sein Sude bechol yoim, nor nachdem wird frier gebeten mezeine beim Eibishter. It says that he would prepare his meal every single day, only after asking the Eibishter for his food. Zagendik, he would say, Loi nisken sudesa aditis yoim bei malka. Wird nicht zugreten sein Sude, bitas wird gegeben werden von dem Eibishter. He would say, I'm not going to prepare my meal until the king gives it to me, until the Eibishter gives it to me. Isarach Hasbara. That's what it says in the Zayar. But the story needs to be understood. Wie bald hat Eichel von welcher zugekriegt sein Suda, ist schön gewesen bei der Schussei. Und es hat gefällt nur der Tikkun am Machel Suda. Havele michle dau yemal mechal. Since it doesn't say that he would ask for food when he didn't have food. Eibishter, I need food. It says here, even those days that he had already food to eat. He had the food in his house. The food was sitting in his kitchen. He just didn't prepare it. He didn't serve it yet. He didn't put it on the meal, or he didn't cook it. And still he would say, Eibishter, can I please have food? So ask the Rebbe, 1 second, what's going on? Was ist der Pirush as bet beim Eibishten, as soll ihm geben, dem Eichel? If the food is sitting in his kitchen, so what does it mean that he says, Eibishter, please give me food? I have the food already. So what does it mean that he's asking for food? So the Rebbe says you could explain the explanation as follows. Es ist Yedua dem Bier von Bechayoi von Maimer Chazal, als Yosef ist nennisch geworden, der Pfarr, was gebeten beim Sarah Mashkin, wie es Kartani el Pare. Chazal tell us that Leizachar Sarah Mashkim es Yosef v'yishkacheyu, that the Sarah Mashkim didn't remember Yosef, he forgot him. So it says that why did he forget him? That's a continuation to the fact that Yosef asked the Sarah Mashkim to mention him to Pare. And it's a punishment for that. Because he asked him to remember him to Pare, so therefore vayishkacheyu, therefore he was punished that he was forgotten. So the Bechaya explains, what does that mean? Is that Yosef didn't have Bitachon? Yosef didn't rely on the Eibishter? Says the Rabbeinu Bechaya, as chas v'shalom she'it le Yosef atzadik b'tcheinei b'Sarah Mashkim. Rak b'Hashem levadei. Chas v'shalom to say that Yosef HaTzadik was relying on the Sarah Mashkim. The Yosef HaTzadik for sure had Bitachon only in the Eibishter. If that's the case, why did he ask the Sarah Mashkim to remind him? Yosef, his intent was Shashem Yisbarach Hizmini love Sarah Mashkim zeh kedei sheyasa le'nes al yadei. Yosef assumed that the Eibishter is the one who provided this Sarah Mashkim as the means through which the nest will be accomplished, right? Like the famous story with the boat and the helicopter, the person who the Eibishter sent him all the ways to save himself. That doesn't mean that you don't sit back and say that the Eibishter will save me. He is saving you. He sent you the ways to save yourself. But so that's what Yosef was doing, says Rabbeinu Bechaya. Yosef was assuming that Sarah Mashkim is suddenly going to go and talk to Parai, and he owes me a favor. This is the miracle that the Eibishter is doing for me. If that's the case, you have the obvious question. So if that's the case, then what did he do wrong? Why is he being punished for that? That's what we're supposed to do. Und das, was Yosef in der Ruf nicht geworden, says Rabbeinu Bechaya, why was Yosef punished for this? Es ist lefische bikesh siba besara mashkim, durch welche der Eibishter soll schicken sein Hatzalah. Because he looked for a mechanism for the Eibishter to send him his Hatzalah. He looked for a keli in Teva, in nature, through which the Eibishter will save him. You're supposed to. He says the Rabbeinu Bechaya vein royal tzadikim kayetzebay levakesh siba. For tzadikim on that level, a tzadik like Yosef shouldn't have been looking for a mechanism, shouldn't have been looking for a cause. Lekach nenash bazeh, and that's why he was punished. Ki haya leilefteach b'Hakadosh Baruch Hu levadik. He should have had bitachon. He should have had trust in the Eibishter alone. Shehu bal asiba kulon. He is the master of all causes. Shehu yasmin elav asiba mebilt He should have had trust. I don't have to go looking for a way that the Eibishter is going to save me. I don't have to go looking for a vessel for the Eibishter to make the nest. The Eibishter is going to find a way to send it to me. The Eibishter is going to make it clear that this is the way he's sending the nest, because he's the one who deals with everything. I don't even have to go look for a cause. That's what Rabbeinu Bechaya says. So says the Rebbe many places the question is asked, as Zach Mevur in Chayvus Alvavis B'nei Getzi Bitachon, as Zachiyav Lasik Pesibis. In Chayvus Alvavis it says clearly that when it comes to Bitachon, yes, we have complete trust in the Eibush there, but yet we're obligated to be involved in looking for a cause. And the Chayvus Alvavis brings many proofs that we're not supposed to sit back with our hands across and say, I'm waiting for the Eibush there to provide me the mechanism. I'm supposed to go out and look for a cause and look for a keli for the bracha to come through. And that's not at all a stira to Bitachon. That's not at all a contradiction to Bitachon. That's actually the expression of Bitachon. Is farvas is Yosef nanish geworden lefisha b'gesiba. If that's the case, why would it be that Yosef is being punished for looking for a cause? Yosef's doing exactly what you're supposed to do as an expression of his bitachon. So why is Rabbeinu Bechaya saying that his bitachon, he should have had a different level of bitachon? Umiz mevar. So the explanation is given that there's actually two different levels. There's two different approaches to bitachon itself. And those two different approaches will be expressed, we'll know which one we're supposed to have based on the way the Eibishter is acting to us. Aleph. B'shas da'anhagim el maila is an anoif nas nimshachna dvarim shehilchin kisidra shal pi hateva. When the whole way in which the Eibishter is dealing with us, we see is in such a way that everything's coming about. They're going according to the natural order of things that seem to fit according to nature. B'loshen achsidis vidas is mitzad memalik lamin. In the loshen achsidis, the way it comes down in memalik lamin, where it's defined by the keli. In other words, there's a structure, and based on this situation, based on the circumstances, that's the that's the light that you see that's filling it, that's the light that you see that's giving it life. So then, because you see that things are structured, they're happening within the confines of nature, so then yes, you have bitachon that the Eibishter, you have complete trust that the Eibishter is going to provide, going to help you, but you're supposed to go and look for a cause, make a vessel in teva. Because when things are operating in a natural form, so then the Eibishter's brachas are coming from that level that's dealing within the confines of the laws of nature, and therefore the hashpah from above, the brachas that are from above, are going to come also through the garments of nature. So you have to go look for the garment of nature that's going to provide the mechanism, the job that's going to provide the parnasa, the doctor that's going to provide the healing. You're looking for the mechanism in teva that the Eibishter is going to use in order to provide the bracha that he's giving you. And that's therefore appropriate. That's an expression of your bitachon. You have complete trust it's going to work, but you have to look for the keli, for the vessel that's going to allow it to work. But base b'shas mizet adan hagim amayla is an oifim vos nimshachim advarim shaloi al pi hateva. But when you see that the way in which the Eibishter is dealing with you in the first place is not in a natural fashion, b'loshen hachsidus mitzat seviv kolalmin, or in the language of Chassidus, you see that the earth that's being brought is the seviv kolalmin, a transcendent light that's not defined by the structure, by the laws in the first place. That it makes no difference higher or lower. It comes regardless of the keli. So then when we see that the circumstances are like that, that means that we also have to have a higher manner, a higher expression of our bitachon, which is, in that situation, when there's no natural structure, then in that situation, you have to rely absolutely, completely, only on the Eibishter's hanhaga, only on the Eibishter's behavior. Is shum davar ki im livtayach b'Hashem shebetach yazer Hashem yizbarach b'derech siba. And then in that circumstances, you're not supposed to do anything, only have complete trust in the Eibishter, that you trust that the Eibishter certainly will help you and will find also the mechanism, will provide also the keli through which he's going to help you. Und Yosef HaTzadik, welche ständig gewähnt verbunden b'avidase mit der Madrega. So that's what's explained in that Rabbeinu Bachaya, why Yosef's being punished for looking for a cause. Since Yosef HaTzadik was constantly connected through his Avodah with the level, was is Hecher von Teva, which is completely above and beyond nature. Hat gedarf in sich, halten bei dem Hecher and Eifen and Bitachon, therefore he should have behaved. He should have held himself to that higher standard, to that higher fashion of Bitachon. Okay, so that's the two different levels of bitachon that you see in order to explain what's going on by Yosef. How could it be that he looks for a keli and still is punished for looking for a keli when we're told we're supposed to look for a keli? So we understand this by understanding that there's two different levels of bitachon. Bitachon, when it's coming in a structured fashion where you're still looking for the causes, you're looking for the vessel in nature that's going to allow the bracha to happen. And then the situation where you see that it's completely not according to nature, and that higher level of bitachon is that you're not even looking for the physical cause. You're not even looking for the keli. Der Chiluk zwischen die zwei Fanim in bitachon is da euch b'shas memacht ya keli. Now the Rebbe takes it a step further and says, not only is there a difference in these two fashions of bitachon, whether you should look for a keli or not. In other words, in a situation where there's no keli, you don't see a vessel, you don't see a way in which it's naturally going to help, that the first level of bitachon is going to say, go look for a doctor, go look for a medicine, go look for a job, go look for something that's going to provide you, that's going to allow your bitachon to be fulfilled. And the second, the higher level of bitachon is going to say that even that you don't have to do. The Eibishter is going to provide you the cause, the keli as well. But even when there is a keli, you do have a job, you do have a doctor, still in that situation, there'll be two different levels of bitachon. Das ist, was fordert sich bei Ifna Aleph. Der Adam soll machen a Keli. Ist es, weil mit Sader an Hagem Amayla, wenn im Shachim advarim al Piteva, hat der Teva und der Darka Teva tvisus makim. The fact that in the first fashion of Bitachon, the person has to make a Keli, is because the behavior from above, when matters are drawn in accordance with nature, then nature, the ways of nature, the laws of nature are important, meaning they have a tvis, the Eibishter decided to give them value, decided to have this level of come down through this particular fashion, which is expressed within the laws of nature. Und der Ribber darf der Adam suchen a Keli usiba durch welches wird zu ihm nimshach werden die Birchas Havaya. Therefore, he has to look for a vessel, for a mechanism in nature through which the blessings of the Eibishter will be drawn to him. But when a person's holding on the higher level of bitachon, that he doesn't have to do anything, he just has to have bitachon in Hashem. That means that on that level of bitachon, nature doesn't matter. He's not dealing with nature. We're dealing with an area that's safe of kalam. We're dealing with a level of light that all of the laws, all of the details, all of the structure doesn't make any difference whatsoever. That's why, like we said before, he doesn't have to look for a cause. He doesn't have to create a vessel because vessels don't matter. Nature doesn't matter. Und der Ribber, afilu when it says da sibo keli tava e parnosasai. Now says the Rabbi Chiddush, if that's the case, on that level of bitachon, even if you have a good job, even if you have a good situation, even if there is a cause, there is a vessel in nature that allows for your parnasa to be expressed, is ein parnasa durch dem nit nenter geworden zu ihm. Legabe wie wollt nit gehad sibo keli. That doesn't add anything. The vessel isn't making it any closer, any more likely that it's going to work out than it would be if he didn't see any vessel for it to work out. Because if you're dealing with the higher level of bitachon that isn't bound within the laws of nature whatsoever, so just like if there is no keli, I don't have to go look for a keli. I believe that the Eibishter, I trust that the Eibishter is going to provide for me a keli when on that higher level of bitachon. So too, if there is a keli, the keli is not what's making it happen. The keli is the fact that there's a job, the fact that I have a good prospect, the fact that I have a good deal available, that's not making me any more likely in my trust, in my reliance, that it's going to actually work out. as compared to a situation where I saw no possibility of it working out in nature. Because when a person's on that higher level of bitachon, then the cause, the mechanism, the vessel doesn't matter. It's nothing for itself. It's not important. Because he's not focused on the keli. The Eibishter is going to provide, because all he's focused on, all he sees, is the way he's going to receive everything he needs directly from the Eibishter. Is euch die Sibo keli, azach was der Eibishter macht für ihm, zusammen mit sein Parnassa. So that the cause, the mechanism through which it's going to come, that's also the Eibishter's business, not my business. Because it's coming from the Eibishter. Just like I believe the Eibishter is the one who's providing me the Parnasa, on this higher level of Bitachon, I believe the Eibishter is the one who's providing me the mechanism through which it's going to come. He's going to provide the deal. He's going to provide the situation. He's going to provide the food. He's going to provide the doctor, the medicine. Und das ist echt die Asbare in Anhages Rabbi Yesi Saba, was hat gesagt, le nisken sudese, adet is yoiv me bei Malka. Chotches havele michleva doyim. That's the explanation why Rabbi Yesi Saba says, I'm not going to prepare my meal until it's given to me from the house of the king. Now, he had food that day. The food is sitting in his home. But by Rabbi Yosef Saba is given der Eifem Bitachon, as hat gesehen in jeder Asiya b'fnei atzmai, das ist nicht sein Asiya, nor an Asiya Hashem. Rabbi Yosef Saba was on the higher level of Bitachon. He saw how everything that happened, every action that he did, it's not that I'm doing something. It doesn't matter whether I did or not. Whether he has to do because the Eibishter wants him to do. But whether I do or not, I don't believe for a second that it has anything to do with what I did. He's believing completely that this is a gift from the Eibishter. Ubemele, therefore, afilo wenn hat dem Eichel bei sich in Stub und darf es noch nehmen und zugreten. On that level of bitachon, the food could be sitting in my kitchen. It could be sitting on my counter. And all I need to do is take it and prepare it. Fehlt das ist nicht sein Eichel, was nimmt Mishalei und greter zu. But still, even in that level, he's still going to feel that this isn't my food. It's not that I'm taking my food that I have and preparing it. Even in that situation, even though I see the food, and I bought the food, and I know where the food came from, and I'm about to prepare the food, and the food's sitting here in front of me, he still feels completely that this isn't my food. This is something that's about to be given to me as a gift from the Eibishter. Das geht dem, it's dem Eibishter. Right now, the Eibishter is giving it to me. Therefore, even though I see it sitting in front of me, I still have to ask the Eibishter for it. Punkt wie bet, für seine Mesenes, wenn nicht geeichel in Stub. Just like if I don't have food, just like if I don't have a parnasa, if I don't have a job, if I don't have a doctor, I realize that I have to sit and ask the Eibishter, please find a way to save me. I have all of those things. It's sitting right in front of me. I still recognize completely that this is coming from the Eibishter, and what I did and what I have doesn't make a difference. The keli doesn't add anything. And therefore, in this moment, I still have to say, Eibishter, please provide me my food. Eibishter, please provide for me the keli, the vessel, even though I see the keli. I still realize, Eibishter, please provide for me the vessel through which you're going to give me the Yeshua, through which you're going to give me what you're planning to give me. Now, so far we explained that that's two different levels of bitachon, right? Rabbi Yosef Saba is on the higher level of bitachon. So with this, first we'll explain another detail about Rabbi Yosef Saba's behavior, and then try to relate it back to us. So it says, with this, says the Rebbe, we could also explain another detail in the story with Rabbi Yosef Saba. Von stimas loshen hazayar, lo iskin sudesa b'chol yoyma, ad deboy b'useichul. From the simple language of the Zayar, it says he didn't prepare a meal any day until he asked the Eibishter, please give me my food. Is mashma, that implies. It says every day. Every day means, implies at least, that even on Shabbos he did the same thing. Even on Shabbos he said, Eibishter, please give me my food. Is nit glatik, but 1 second. Shabbos is doch nit as man from bakashas rachav. Like we said before, Shabbos isn't a time to ask for what you need. Is wie kommt es as Rabbi Yosef ba beuse kame kut shbricha amazene afilu b'Shabbos. So how could it be that Rabbi Yosef would ask his request from the Eibishter for his food even on Shabbos? But according to this, it makes sense. The bakasha stracha was darf nicht sein bei Yom Shabbos is dafke wenn der Adam is essen dabei sich sein Metzias as soll nismale werden stracha v'chesreine. This idea that you're not supposed to ask for what you need on Shabbos is because Shabbos is Lashem. Shabbos is a higher level, and therefore, if the person's focusing on himself, on my Metzias, I need what I need, I want what I'm missing. So then Shabbos isn't a time to ask for that. The rest of the week you could ask for that. On Shabbos, you're not supposed to be asking for what you need, for what I want. But Rabbi Yosef Saba is sein Tfile gekommen dafke der Far, wo sein Metzius hat bei ihm in ganzen Nitzefes Makim gewinnt. Rabbi Yosef Saba, we already said, why was he davening even if he had the food sitting in front of him? Because he looked at himself not as a Metzius at all. He wasn't Tefes Makim by himself. He wasn't important. So therefore, what I did to get the food wasn't important. And therefore, even if the food is sitting in front of me, I'm still going to ask for it. If that's the case, then when he's asking for food also, it's not because he's hungry and he needs something. The whole reason he's asking for food, even if it's sitting in front of him, is because he wasn't Tefes Makim for himself, and therefore he felt every single step he took, every single thing he did, was completely dependent, reliant on the Eibishter. As the Zayar explains, as Ifazan Haga state as Ham Yachlim Lechazde. As the Zayar says that this type of behavior is expressed, is what the Pasuk says, those who await, who hope for the Eibishter's Chesed, as says the Zayar, the Mitzapon, that they wait, Umechakon, they're sitting and anticipating and waiting, Bechol Yoima v'Yoima, in every single day, Lembeboyim Mizainayu Mikutchabrichu, to ask of their food from before the Eibishter. Das haste. What does that mean if that's the case? That means that the tefillah that Rabbi Yosef is asking isn't for his needs. He doesn't care about his food because he's not focused on himself. Why is he asking the Eibishter for food? Because he's awaiting for the opportunity of l'miyachalim, they're waiting l'chazde, for the opportunity to ask the Eibishter for his chesed. That means, das heißt, ader teichen ha-tzvila is place to ha'isrikin dem ha-miyachlim l'chazde. The whole reason he's asking for food isn't because he cares about having food. The whole reason he's asking for food is because he wants to be able to have an opportunity to ask the Eibishter for his chesed, for his kindness. He feels how everything is just the chesed of the Eibishter, and he wants the opportunity to be able to ask the Eibishter for chesed. That kind of davening, sure, he's asking for food, but that's not bakashas trachav. He's not asking for what he needs. He's asking the Eibishter, so he should have the opportunity to ask the Eibishter for chesed. And that kind of davening, that kind of asking for food, you could ask on Shabbos also, because that's not a stira to Shabbos. That's not about him. It's not about what he needs. So, according to this, we explained the two different levels of bitachon. Based on the two different levels of bitachon, we explained the difference, the two details in Rabbi Yosef Saba. First of all, that level of bitachon of Rabbi Yosef Saba applies constantly. The other level of bitachon, when you need to make a keli, when you need to look for a cause. So that's the expression of trust when you're involved in looking for the cause. Then you have this trust. Or you don't see a way, then you have this trust the Eibishter is going to provide. So that would be connected to the level of bitachon that is the lower level of bitachon, and therefore that would only be at certain times, only be in the times that it applies. But then there's a higher level of bitachon that Rabbi Yosef Saba had, and that's the bitachon that isn't even looking for a keli at all, relying completely on the Eibishter above and beyond nature completely. That level of bitachon would apply even if you do have a keli. It doesn't stop when you have the keli, because the keli isn't the answer. Even when you have the keli in front of you, even when you see what you need in front of you, you still have to have that bitachon. So therefore that level of bitachon will be constant, and that level of bitachon will apply even on Shabbos. So, afal pi azati anhage von Rabbi Yosef Saba is nit adav rashav l'chol nefesh. Now, practically speaking, this type of bitachon, this higher level of bitachon, is for Yosef HaTzadik. This higher level of bitachon is for Rabbi Yosef Saba. Most of us are dealing with a situation where the laws of nature do make a difference. Yes, we have bitachon, we have trust in the Eibishter that he's going to provide, but we're looking to find the keli, to find the vessel, and to provide the mechanisms, how that's going to come about. So it's not a davar hashav l'chol nefesh. That level of bitachon where it doesn't matter if there's a keli or not, that's not equal for everybody. Afal pike, nonetheless, says the Rebbe, is efes kotseyu v'shemetz menu shayich tziyedem einem. Some little bit of it does apply for each and every one of us. Va'al kol panim initim mizumanim, at least, if not constantly, in specific times and special times. Says the Rebbe, could be this is the difference between weekday and Shabbos. But during the 6 days of the week, we're involved with the world. We're supposed to go out and create a keli. We're doing work. When during those 6 days we're supposed to, a yid has to be, and is following the fashion that's explained in the Shulchan Aruch of you have to go to work, and you have to do business, do it faithfully, do it with trust. But then you're actually going out and dealing with matters of parnasa. As by der bitachon in an oifen as sucht asibo v'keli. Then it makes sense that in such a level at that time, his bitachon, his trust in the Eibishter, is in such a fashion that he is looking for a cause. He needs to look for a cause. He needs to look for a vessel. You can't ask of a person, you're saying go out and work, and yet you're going to say, shouldn't matter to you, it's up, it's down, it's going well, it's not going well. You see a keli, you don't see a keli. How could you ask that of a person to uplift himself completely higher than nature, and to hold on the higher level of bitachon, when at the same time you're asking of him to go and be involved in looking for the keli? If I'm involved in looking for the keli, that means the keli makes a difference. But when it comes Shabbos, Shabbos is a day that there's nothing for you to do. Today, don't go and do anything. Today, you're higher than work. You're not being involved in looking for a keli. So then it makes sense to say that at that time on Shabbos, when anyway, this isn't when you're going to find anything to do. This isn't a time when you have options, when you have a keli to be involved in to look for. So that's a time when at least there should be a little bit of the higher level of bitachon, that all that you're waiting for is the opportunity to ask the Eibishter for his chesed. You're not even involved at all in the process of making a keli. In the process, the Eibishter is going to provide the keli as well. According to this, says the Rebbe, now we have two different approaches of bitachon, two different levels of what bitachon could mean. And one, the basic level of bitachon that applies all week long, but one, the higher level of bitachon, which applies specifically on Shabbos. So he says, Adas is a hasbara for them chiluk zwischen dem Madura Kama und Madura Tinyana von Alten Rebbe Shulchan Aruch b'negel Amir's Parshas Amon. According to this, you could explain the difference between the first version and the last version of the Alten Rebbe in the Shulchan Aruch, and why he changes from the Beis Yosef with regard to saying Parshas Amon. Because there's a rule that the Madura Kama, the first version of the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, he wrote in accordance with the Gemara and the Poskim. In the second version, he included and brought in also according to the Mikubot, that it should fit also according to the Mikubot. So according to that, says the Rebbe, the Madur Kama the Alter Rebbe geschrieben, Leiter Achraf and Gemara and Poskim. The first version of the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, he wrote in accordance with the Gemara and Poskim, with the ruling of the Gemara and Poskim. Und wie bald der Inyan Bitachon is bepashtus bin nigla, is in an eifen as we muzmach na keli. Since the basic level of bitachon, the way it's expressed in nigla in general, Mimala Kalaman, within the laws of the world, is in a manner that you are supposed to look for a keli. If that's the case, you can't give bitachon as the reason for Parshas Amon, because then it would have limitations when it should be. And since we know that Parshas Amon has to be every day, is oibmen zol brengen als tam lamidas Parshas Amon lefteach v'Hashem chulu. If the Alter Rebbe then would bring as the reason for saying the Parshas Amon, that in order to have trust in the Eibishter, volt amirasa geven nor b'maisachaylu dafke lachri hatvila kanal sivkim. Then there would be limitations in when you should say mon, because then mon would be connected with bakashas tzrachav. It's connected with looking for a keli, and then it would be applicable only in the weekdays, and it would be applicable only after davening, after yisad shvacha shel makim. So therefore, in the first version, and the Beis Yosef give as the reason for saying Parshas Amon, it can't be because of Bitachon, because then there would be limitations which we don't see. So therefore, they say Ader Tam von Amiras Parshas Amon b'chol yom, that the reason why you should say Parshas Amon every day, even on Shabbos, is Kedei Sheyamin Shekomas Einaisa Bain Le Bashgacha. Then it's in order to have emunah, in order to believe that everything's coming from the Eibishter Bashgacha, and that's shaykh even on Shabbos, and that's shaykh even before davening. But in the second version of the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, Alter Rebbe Machriya Geven Kam Mekubalim, in that he's Machriya more, he follows more the opinion of the Mekubalim. And therefore, in the second version, of the final version, the Alter Rebbe includes also behaviors that won't be necessarily required according to halacha, kipshuta, but that are connected with higher levels in Avodas Hashem. When therefore, therefore, in this Madura Tinyana, he's saying that a person should already have the higher level of bitachon. And then the reason for saying Parshas Amon could be in order to arouse our trust in the Eibishter, that he's giving us our bread, he's giving us what we need every single day. Because on this higher level of bitachon, of those who await for the Eibishter's chesed, ken zayin amiras Parshas Amon b'chol yom, eich b'Shabbos and livnei atfilah. Then you could have the Parshas Amon. You could say the Parshas Amon every day, even on Shabbos, and even before davening, because according to this, the level of bitachon relates to a level of bitachon that isn't connected to bakashat tzrachav, that isn't connected to making a keli at all, and therefore that level of bitachon will apply at all times, and therefore could be the reason for saying Parshas Amon every day without any limitations. So, zeiche sein, trach gut, wird sein gut, to see it, beteva nir vanigla, take it from Yad Mamash.